Today I want to talk to you about focusing on your target market. You've heard me mention target market in many of the other sessions, and I'll be mentioning it in future sessions. But I find it to be a pretty good way to do your planning. So let's put it in that context. So the starting point is, who is your target market, which is who do you want to have hire you. When I was a young lawyer, my initial target market when I was doing commercial litigation was businesses located within the geographic area where I was practicing, which was Roanoke, Virginia. When I narrowed my focus to construction, then it was construction industry businesses in Southwest Virginia, and then later all of Virginia. Then I narrowed my focus again to transportation construction. So it started out as transportation contractors in Virginia, and then later it was the top 100 transportation contractors in the United States. So that was my target market. What is your target market? That's a good starting point. The next thing is, what do you want them to hire you to do? Let's use myself as the example again. I wanted my target market to hire me to litigate their contract disputes, to help them with compliance issues, to help them prepare and negotiate claims for additional money, to work on minority contract issues, and then to also work on design build, public-private finance, and other things that were involved in highway construction. So I had those clear ideas of the particular things I wanted them to hire me to do. The next step of your planning is to focus on what you need to learn. So for example, when design build became an issue for highway construction, I really didn't have much of a background in it. So I had to create a library and focus on learning as much about design build and how it had been applied in other types of construction. So the next step is, what do you need to learn to become more effective to your target market? Next in your planning process is, how do you become visible and credible to that target market? In other words, how do they find you? I was fortunate enough to be able to write a monthly column in a trade magazine, but I also created guides. I did workshops. I spoke at association meetings. And this was all planned out. It was not random. It was not by accident. I had a game plan of where I wanted to speak and what I wanted to write. Next is, what are the target market referral sources? You've heard me talk about that in other sessions, and I'll talk about it in future sessions. For construction, there are many associations, so the association executives were my referral sources. But again, you've heard me say it, there were bankers, insurance representatives, and accountants that focused on construction. So I viewed them also as referral sources. And then finally, what are the industry associations or other associations that your target market belongs to? It could be community or it could be industry. For me, in construction, it was industry associations. So for example, there were the Associated General Contractors, the American Road and Transportation Builders Association, the Concrete Pavement Association, the National Asphalt Pavement Association. There were a variety of associations. It was important for me to know those because those were the groups that I wanted to speak before. Those were the groups that I wanted to send articles so they could spread them out to their members. So starting with your target market and figuring out how to become visible and credible to them and knowing what you want them to hire you to do is a very effective planning process for your client development efforts.